In all my long year of keeping up with American politics, I've only ever seen two passable presidential candidates, Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. Now, because the DNC has schemed against my boy Bernie by letting old people vote, we won't get to see these two giants go head to head. On one hand, this is kind of a good thing because now I won't have to see my two dads fight, but on the other hand, this is great news, because now I get to see Trump cave a centrist's head in while screaming, "How many times do I have to teach you neoliberals this lesson?" That being said, I've come up with an idea to unite America against the centrist menace. Make no mistake, this is a battle between centrism and anti-centrism. That's right, fellas. Trump-Sanders 2020. Here's how Bernie can still win. I don't want to see any coalition building with the centrists, okay? The center always plays this game, caroling the left and the right to work through them to get anything done. They never expect the left and the right to go around the center and crush the middle. But I hear some of you new to the anti-centrist movement questioning this logic already. Bernie Sanders working with Donald Trump? They're as different as can be. The left is over here and the right is over here. Both of them have more in common with the middle than they do with each other, right? This is because your brain is small, and you use a line to map out complex beliefs. But it's okay, you're here now, I'll explain things to you. It may be helpful for you to think about the political spectrum as more of a a triangle. The center wants you to think that politics is a line that looks like this so that you have to work through them, but it's actually more of a triangle where alliances can be made however they want to be made. Sure, the left can ally with the center and the right can ally with the center, but it's also possible for the left and the right to just circumvent the center and ally with each other. But that's impossible. Far leftists are liberals and far right-wingers are conservative. No, that's fucking stupid. Stop talking. I'm gonna show you pictures of Soviets and Nazis shaking hands until you purge that idea from your brain. Sanders and Trump aren't opposites. They're both anti-centrists. Now, they're not exactly radical anti-centrists. Obviously, they could be a lot better. Donald Trump is not a fascist, he's a nationalist, and Bernie Sanders is not a communist, he's a democratic socialist. But they're both populists. Sanders is a left-wing populist, meaning economically left, which goes against the neoliberal status quo of economic right-wing. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is a right-wing populist in terms of cultural policy, which goes against the neoliberal status quo of cultural leftism. Also, both are somewhat isolationist, which goes against the neoliberal status quo of globalism. You see what I'm getting at here? See, the main issue with economic leftism is the people that you're redistributing the wealth to. When you mix economic leftism with cultural leftism, you have a weak system, right, to be taken advantage of. And nationalism is all well and good, but then you don't have an effective system in place to take care of your own people. Economic leftism takes care of the people within the state, and as a result, builds loyalty for the civilians to the state. If we can combine economic leftism with nationalism, then we can actually make use of the goodwill that economic leftism brings. First, Bernie will endorse Trump over Biden. An unorthodox move to be sure, but one that needs to be made. All the people who hate Biden vote for Trump instead, skyrocketing his approval rate. As thanks, Trump takes on Bernie Sanders as his new vice president. He clearly likes Bernie Sanders more than Mike Pence anyway. Rightists, you know what to do. Leftists, this is your accelerationist vote. Can't you see it, Bernie bros? MAGA boys. Sanders and Trump are only rivals because they've been pitted against each other by the establishment. They need to work together. We're gonna take the nationalism of Donald Trump and the socialism of Bernie Sanders and combine it into a brand new ideology I'm calling National Social...